this case I kind of just think of them as two different parts. So you have the decay, and I've actually got a more complex one here. We'll go through that in a minute. So that's the kind of the longer lasting part of the sound, and then you've got the transient, which is the kind of the smack. Obviously hats and percussion are going to be a lot lighter than your kick and snare, but they still want to have some sort of snap to them, and I find it easier to separate those out. So I start with the transient, which it's easy to presume that hats and stuff are going to have pretty much only top end, you know, treble, but that's not actually the case. Let's make this a little bit smaller. I think it's really important for your transient and your percussions to have quite a lot of this upper mid-range stuff, a bit chunkier than just straight up just top end, because no real sound just has top end only. Everything, you know, any real percussive sound, if you look at a hi-hat if you record one, you'll see that it's actually almost a flat response. Yeah, with some top end, definitely some spikes up there, but you get a lot of mid-range in the transients and stuff, and I like retaining that a little bit. It also helps stuff poke through the mix. So I've set up a little Serum loop, some MIDI there. There's nothing going on other than it's this noise generator was on. I was initially using the LFOs to create some transients and stuff, but I found, and I tend to find, that just drawing it in myself in automation is going to be easier. So yeah, we've got Serum, some EQ, which I'll go through in a minute. Let's turn that off. So what I start with is just a sound and an envelope. So instead of drawing in a completely infinite, you know, silent to loud part, I have this little scoop, which I think is quite important. I think real hats and realistic sounds have this kind of scoop up to full volume rather than this nothing to everything nature, like those synth snares do. It sounds a little more pleasing to the ear with high end to have it kind of like quickly scoop up. So let's exaggerate that and we'll see what I'm talking about. So we've got like a ramp up to a loud part and then it coming back down. Obviously that's a little too scoopy, so let's move that in. Cool, so that is a little bit low maybe. And just the setting I've got then, so it's you'll have this project obviously, but I've got AC home, which is just the standard default sound that you have coming out the noise generator, and I've pitched it down a little bit, and let's just play about with that. That's a little too top endy for me. It's got a little bit of thwack there and I quite like that. So from there it's just a little bit of EQ. You don't want too much. Sometimes I will leave that much mid-range in, but for this one it sounded a little bit cleanly to have it more like this. So it's important to note that that's all that leaving that mid-range is applicable to the transient, but I would not leave that much in the decay. So